Hello everyone, this is Yours Trivia. Welcome back to our subscriber game tournament season 2 as we continue with our round 3 time trials here against Beihai Butchers. Now looking at the army he brought, he has Cao Cao, Lü Bu, Zhang Jiao, and all Cav army. That is definitely the right choice to go here. Cao Cao and Lü Bu are super fast by themselves with the Shadow Runner and the Red Hair as their mounts. Zhang Jiao is bringing some excellent units here in the Messenger of Heaven, which is not only super fast, but double unit size, which means they take up more of the map. They're able to spot more distances because of that, and also they're capable in fights, even if it's 1v2 or even 1v3, just because their double entity and excellent stat give them a great chance against my cavalry units, which are just mounted militia lancers. And looking at the generals here, aside from the units, it's also interesting that Zhang Jiao is only rank 2 in this matchup, as he decided to forego the slower gold horse, and also by making him rank 2, he still picks up his suicidal ability without basically spending too much money. So he's lower health, weaker weapon, but faster horse, because the silver horse is actually faster than the gold horse. Pretty neat trick. And with all that said, let's look at the actual deployment and see what happens here. So looking into this map here, I'm still in my little northern corner here on my initial deployment. The enemy side has decided to send Lü Bu out forward by himself while everyone's in this big line, mainly because Zhang Jiao cannot guerrilla deploy his units, and I think Cao Cao also can't. So they're just at the edge of their own deployment box. Lü Bu is scouting up ahead. The Messenger of Heaven, super good. Look at the speed, 143. That's boosted by Cao Cao's Nature's Ally, of course, but still, astonishing boost to get them to 143. Also really high morale, hard to beat that. The other unit, however, Northern Lancers 94 and Xiliang Cav, which I think are also 94, might have a bit of a problem catching my units, which are going to be 119 for the most part, if they're away from the Nature's Ally, and also 143 when they have it. They're the same speed as those Messenger of Heaven, while the slightly upgraded Northern Lancer and the Xiliang Cav are going to be a tad slower. So we'll see what happens. It's a little less condensed here because I realize that the enemy generals can't all guerrilla deploy, so I might take a chance and run the other way to cover the opposite corner, and we'll see what happens. So right off the bat, I take a look at what the enemy has, where they're sending them. I don't activate surprise attack yet until they start departing, and I'm gonna send them off to hide far away. I let them see that I'm here without really knowing which way I'm running, and I start running away from Lü Bu because that Dragon's Gaze is no fun. The units scatter in multiple directions, the general scatter in the opposite directions. Hopefully they can get away from Lü Bu there. Maybe we have to offer something to him, but he's pursuing. And we have the units spreading out, but they're all coming towards us. This might be a poor micro decision, because if they maintain the line, they actually would have an easier time boxing my units in. Once everything's being sent to one target, which is quite clear what's happening here, they're chasing after those cavalry, I just split them and see which one they go after. And they clearly all have selected one target over here. So they got to run away for free. I just stopped these units because we still have surprise attack for a little bit, 4 seconds, so no one knows they're there. We are home free to run north, as all the tension are on these 4 units here, which is understandable because everyone was invisible for a moment there until now when it expired. But this overcommitment of the entire army to chase after 4 units, definitely not a wise decision. We're going to actually fast forward here a little bit because clearly there's not going to be a contest on that side. Now it's spreading out to find me. Just because I don't have surprise attack doesn't mean they can see my units, just because sheer distance in the fog will create invisibilities here. As you can see, the generals spread out on that side to look for my units when my main unit is actually in the opposite corner. We're just going to chill here for a bit and wait for surprise attack to come back on. There's no reason to run around and fatigue myself, as we're just gonna chill. My units that bounce back are able to slip away, which is also a bit unfortunate. As you can clearly see, they're being commanded in groups, and that's why I think this round is still a great test of our contestants' capabilities, since it's not just about picking the right comp, it's also about microing the comp. It's very hard to micro all these units on the open field to send everyone in the right direction, as you can see on the minimap, to search the entire map efficiently, while also chasing the units down without overcommitting everyone to chase one unit. I'm using his unit to get a little bit of speed burst so that I can get away from the slightly slower unit, but I don't actually want to get in contact with them, so now that we have a little distance build up, we're trying to just run for the opposite corner for the delay. Now, because I have this unit here, I kind of know where all his units are, because if he can't see me, I can't see him, but as long as I have something here, I can sort of see him. This unit's looking for me, and I decided to give him something, because I don't want to show him the corner units. So we had 2 units up here, we sent one at him. The problem is, I can't beat Messenger of Heavens. They're just double size with better stats. So my militia are going to get killed slowly here. We're just going to let them die slowly. And I'm going to offer something to run to the opposite direction to hopefully let them chase that way to buy more time for my main unit here to just sit tight and wait. Because I already noticed that there's a inclination to run everything at everyone. We reached the edge of the map, so there's no more places where we can run, and this unit will eventually get killed, and that's fine. We drew enough of, pressure from the enemy here. So since I can't get out, my only goal is to not expose these two, so we don't go anywhere closer to that, as no one can see my general so far. We're just not pressured to do anything for a while. But as you can see, there is sort of this line that's going to compress, where we could possibly be, and they will slowly find us. And that's okay. We're just waiting here to lose slowly. And we also have the ability to use a surprise attack, so if there's any gaps, we can maybe try to run away in those gaps. Cao Cao is searching desperately for where my units are. The charge on this unit actually stopped, or maybe they're just slow. I think they're just slow. You can see they're tired. Everyone's tired except for my units, because they weren't running. Now, had I known this was where those cavalry are, I should have just surprise attacked and went for the middle. I couldn't see these, right? They're too far away for me to see, because they can't see me, I can't see them. So if I knew this was opening right here, I should have just ran here, but obviously vision's not perfect for either side, so I'm gonna bump into them here, a bit unfortunate. And let's see how I adapt to that. So they found us. Or we found them, because we're technically invisible until we found them. And then we're gonna try to break the other way, because I'm like, oh no, Messenger of Heavens. We bump into him here, a bit unfortunate. I'm going to send the cavalry back towards the corner, but unfortunately Cao Cao is there as well. We're going to go for the center now, realizing that's more open if the units are here hugging the wall. I probably could have also just fought Cao Cao here, but I was hoping he wasn't paying attention, which was true. Ah, he caught himself. He was chasing after these 3 for a bit, and maybe I could just slip away. Your attention in terms of micro is only on whatever's on the screen. Like, this unit got away for a long time and no one noticed them. They're still alive. He pulled out of the fight, routed and recovered and was fine, so they're still fine. Our generals are just now dashing away from Zhang Jiao here. But these guys are way too fast in my opinion. And if they're pursuing us, they're going to catch up eventually. Cao Cao might be in a bit of trouble. 4 versus him and the messenger, but there's more messengers coming, so I'm going to lose that fight just from sheer numbers. 3 of those messengers are equivalent to 6 of my unit, so my 4 units plus their general just does not stand a chance there, as we're just in run with our life. Lubo's pursuing. Now he has a lot of support units, so I can't really stop and try to kill him here. Somehow he pulled back. I don't understand this, but he just had to keep chasing. Maybe he was worried about Cao Cao losing here. Cao Cao also pulled away. Maybe the generals were chained together. But my cavalry can't win this fight, because messengers 2v4 is a fair fight. Is Lubu trying to help out? Is there confidence that these cavalry can catch up to my generals? I think Lubu actually has to do that. I'm setting this cavalry to charge into their cavalry, and my generals charge into this unit. So they both get a speed bonus, and then hopefully he can sacrifice himself to stall this entire group from chasing my generals. Yeah, Lu Bu's being sent to take care of this. They would win, actually. Yeah, the messengers have no problem here. Alright, time to kill yourself for us. I'll give you Unbreakable, so you fight till death. And we're going to blunt that charge. Meanwhile, we're going to charge and then just keep moving afterwards. Yep. Just getting the charge for speed and then keep moving. Unfortunately, this got stunted a little bit, but we're going to pull out. No problem. And we have stalled all the pursuit unit for the most part. This unit turned around and decided to continue chasing us, which is good. Potentially, if I had more units over here, I probably could have just dismounted and killed Cao Cao. But then I probably wouldn't be able to remount, and he was on his way too. The fight's still ongoing. We bounced back, but it's 3v2 right now, and there's help on the way, so we can't win that. The messengers are doing a great job of just chasing us down. With Cao Cao providing the nature's ally, we can't outrun them. Now we have to basically make a call and trying to use a little bit of ability. Roars doesn't work against them, Flame of Phoenix doesn't really work against them, so running away is pretty much all we can do. I'm trying to run towards my cavalry to let them help cover, similar to what we did earlier. Lu Bu is here, however, makes it a little bit rougher on us. But we're still relatively healthy. That's the only positive, getting bumped on the run. And then I decided, you know what, I'm not outrunning any of these two generals with their special horses, so I scattered, trying to preserve one general to make sure that we can perhaps extend this match, since they only have two fast generals. Unfortunately, they're chasing my two fastest generals, and Sima Wei, who is our slowest general, is being ignored, which is good and bad. Means eventually they'll catch up to him, but at least till this point, we're fine. Now, the unfortunate thing about this match for me is that as these two generals slowly die, I was counting on the fact that army loss doesn't kick in for my units on the sides, because we potentially have enough unit where the bar wouldn't get too low and we wouldn't suffer army loss. But as these generals die off, that's proven to not be the case, as these units in the end would just rout off due to army loss, which is a bit unfortunate. I was hoping to use them to extend the match a bit, but it did teach me a lesson to hide more than two cavalry in the future, which, you know, obviously is an advantage and disadvantage about going first against me versus going later against me in this same setup, because obviously I'm going to be more experienced playing against whatever is facing my sort of pursuit setup here once I played, you know, 5 matches versus playing the first few matches here. Sima Wen's surviving as long as he can, and Sima Wei is just trying to hide. I'm slightly fresher because we were able to hide out in the corner for longer. I was sending this cavalry here to help him, right? We're on the intercept path to maybe block a unit as we're trying to run this way. Well, the cavalry's getting discovered anyway, so we're in a fight and they're gonna die here. Keep running. Army loss kicked in before they could do much. And since we can't run, we decided to stop. We're gonna try to kill Cao Cao, who's lower health than us. But then he activated his 100% melee evasion. I decided, nope, that's not gonna work. We're gonna ignore him during this duration. Maybe after this 20 seconds we can fight him. Kept bumping me, so I decided, you know what? If he's gonna bump me, I'm gonna stop and kill him. And then we keep running. Zhang Jiao's not fast himself, so that's the good news. And it looks like the units are starting fatiguing. Xiliang Cav are also not fast because they're slightly heavily armored. You can see they're more fatigued than I am. But the pursuit speed is still giving them advantage here. I mean, this is our only hope. We could probably stop to fight him as well at this point. But with Lu Bu looming, I don't think that's a great plan. But that's what we opted for. Maybe we kill him fast enough with our axe. And nope, we're piecing out because Lu Bu's here. As long as he's not going to bump us and slow us down, I think we're fine. I decided maybe I can use this rock to circle around, or use the unit to charge, but really, we're running out of plans with Lu Bu looming here, and we're also fatigued now. I decided to see if I can get a duel. Nope. And we're just simply swarmed our last Flame the Phoenix and tossed to the side. Our cavalry are still there. I have also decided to dismount from Vermilion Bird. Very neat trick here to try to get a little bit of spear brace bonus against the enemy cav. As you can see, they're actually bracing, but it's going to be too little too late, as army loss will kick in pretty soon after. You can see we actually kill the cavalry pretty fast as mounted unit. There's more attack speed animation. I think this is actually a legit strategy if we had the morale for it. Now the official time for this will be 15:32, so it will be the second place time right now, 2 out of 2, and we'll see if our other contestants can beat it. Now, looking at the army composition and what happened, I think the big mistake was sending everyone to chase after those 4 units running across the screen early on. Granted, I did use surprise attack, so a lot of my units were invisible, but overcommitting to what you see is also a huge issue. It bought me tremendous amount of time to rest my generals and about 6 cavalry in one corner of the map opposite to where all their units went. Gave me a lot of time to just sit there, and once they came back, they're more fatigued than I am, and I'm able to utilize that little bit of speed bonus to buy myself more time. I was able to extend the fight in the bottom corner as well for a long time, occupying a few units. And because the 4 versus 2 number-wise that I used for the cavalry versus the 2 Messenger of Heaven made Beihai Butcher freak out a little bit, so he sent Lu Bu back instead of continued pursuit of my 3 generals during that, halfway point. I think that was also a mistake. The generals were much more important targets. If they were killed by Lu Bu, then the units would army loss a lot quicker, even if his cavalry will lose out in that fight, and perhaps just sending 2 more cavalries to the scene is more than enough. Committing the general is an overkill. The generals need to fight the generals in this case, and that's not what happened, as I was able to extend this match to the 15-minute mark-ish, and we have our result here. So come back tomorrow to find out how our next 2 contestants will do, and see if Beihai Butcher's time will hold up and still be the top 2 time moving forward. So until then, bye!